Another video. We're going to do a second MPG test on my 2014 Chevy Diesel. It's a 2-liter, 151 horsepower, 264 pound-feet of torque engine. Chevy claims you get up to 717 miles off a single tank of diesel. I'm traveling from Myrtle Beach to Hopewell Junction, New York. According to the GPS, it is 720 miles. 12 hours and 15 minutes. Well, according to Chevy, I should make it be able to just get back full 5 miles from my house. Well, we're not going to push it that far, but we're going to see how far we can get. Now, we already did one test from Hopewell Junction to Simpsonville, South Carolina. This trip is shorter by about 80 miles. But this trip is also less mountainous than the one I took through Pennsylvania and Virginia. So it's going to be more flatland, but it's also going to be a lot more stop and go because we're going to be hitting Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Richmond, Virginia, Baltimore, Philly, and the New York tri-state area. So although it will be more flat than the mountainous route I took the first time, going to Simpsonville, South Carolina, we're going to be hitting more metro areas, so we may hit more traffic. And we also got more of those annoying tolls, which we're going to hit. They got my Easy Pass here just in case. So, 717 miles, Chevy says. I'm going to try to aim for 700. But let's see how we do. It's going to be 12 hours and 15-minute ride. It is 9:26 a.m. in Myrtle Beach at 60 degrees. And let's get started. As with anything, I'm going to give you an update when I come across every state border or every 100 miles, whatever comes first. So, we're on our way from beautiful Myrtle Beach to Hopewell Junction, New York, and I will see you next update. 14 a.m. It's 66 degrees. We're 1 mile away from leaving the Palmetto state of South Carolina and crossing into the Tar Heel state of North Carolina in 1 mile. So far, we've only done 47.3 miles into the trip. We're averaging 45.8 miles per gallon, doing about 59 miles an hour. Because the sticker,
in 0.7 miles.
The sticker says the car does 46 miles per gallon highway. And by the way, we started the trip with the odometer reading of 59,925 miles. We're at 59,973. So we're going to crack the 60,000 mile mark somewhere in North Carolina. Now, according to the GPS, we're 0.3 miles away from the North Carolina border.
Keep right on US 701, then keep right.
Smooth sailing so far. Like I said, this is going to be a lot more of a
keep right on US 701 bypass.
Flat road trip back compared to the mountains when we took down. But we're going to hit more DC areas. And as you can see right there,
0.6 miles.
North Carolina state line. We are now in North Carolina. So that's the update there. We're still at full, obviously, and I'll get back to you at the 100-mile-an-hour mark. Miles on the odometer, and I'll talk to you soon. 6 a.m., 70 degrees outside. We're in northbound on Interstate 95 in the Tar Heel state of North Carolina. We are 100 miles into the trip. We're a smidgen above the full fuel line, averaging 59.7 miles per hour and averaging 46.2 miles per gallon. Got a long way to go. Like I said, we're just starting in North Carolina, and I will see you at either the 200 mile mark for the journey, or at the next state border, which will be Virginia. So we're in our second of 7 states on our journey back home to New York. And I'll talk to you later. It's 12:39 p.m. It's 73 degrees. We're still northbound on I-95 in North Carolina. We just hit the 200 mile mark on the 720 mile trip. We're averaging 46.5 miles a gallon, averaging 62.3 miles per hour. And right now we're literally between a full tank and 3/4 of a tank, so we're doing pretty good. We're averaging about 5 to 6 miles to the gallon better than our trip down to South Carolina, because like I said, this journey going up north on 95 is a lot more flat than the mountainous way going down I-81 in Pennsylvania and Virginia. But on the flip side, like I said, we're going to be hitting a lot more metropolitan areas like DC, Baltimore, Philly, and the New York City tri-state area, and then in the toll roads. And rush hour is going to play into effect on it, so we'll see how we're doing. But that's where we are right now, just over 200 miles into the trip, and I'll talk to you either at the 300 mile mark or at the Virginia state border. Hi everyone, we're back. It's 1:29 p.m. 76 degrees. We're about to leave our second state of North Carolina and cross over the border into Virginia. So far we're 261 miles into the trip. We are down to 3/4 of a tank of diesel left. Amazing. We're averaging 46.4 miles per gallon at 64 miles an hour. And we're doing well. Like I said, it's a flat, the pathway home is a lot more flatter than the mountainous way I came down. So we're doing about 6 miles to the gallon better. And as we just officially crossed into Virginia, which I like to nickname Virginia the speed trap state, because 1, radar detectors are illegal here, and 2, the state police are everywhere on 95. Anyway, that's it for now, everyone. I'll get back to you at the 300 mile mark. We're on northbound and I-95 in Virginia now. Talk to you in a while. 3 p.m. at 77 degrees. And I guess it wouldn't be I-95 if it wasn't backed up at least once for a major traffic accident. There you see on the other side right there, that's the northbound lane, totally broke down, stuck, nothing's moving. Thank goodness I was near an exit. I got off right away. I don't know how much longer it's going to be like this. You see, we got National Guard troops, we got people totally stopped. And looks like I'm about to pass it right now. I'm on something called the Blue Star Highway. Never heard of it, never been on it, but I wasn't going to remain there. And here we go. I don't know if you can see it, but major car wreck, I think. Well, it's all cleared up. We're at 284 miles on the trip, and I'll get back to you when I'm on 95 at the 300 mile mark. Well, folks, we're getting back on I-95 right now in Virginia. We found a way around that mess, thank goodness. It's 1:56 p.m. at 78 degrees. Northbound on I-95 in Virginia. I guess we're about 30 miles south of Richmond as we approach the 300 mile mark. It's 2:08 p.m. 79 degrees. We're on I-95 in Virginia. We just hit the 300 mile mark of the trip. We're averaging exactly 46 miles to the gallon like the sickest does. Averaging 63.6 miles per hour. We're looking good right now. Eventually we're going to hit reality and we're going to hit that DC Baltimore rush hour. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is when you come up this way. Yeah, unless you leave at 6 in the evening the day before, you're going to run into rush hour during the week on this trip up north. So that's the story right now. We're just below 3/4 of a tank, and we'll talk to you soon. Alright everyone, we're back. It's 3:02 p.m. It's 80 degrees. We're still on I-95 North in Virginia, and we just reached the 360 mile mark for the trip. Now, if you're asking why 360, well, it's halfway home. The trip is exactly 720 miles according to GPS. We're averaging 46.2 miles per gallon, going on an average of 64.2 miles per hour. And we are exactly one notch above half a tank. Now, why is that significant? Well, on my way down to South Carolina, we were at half a tank at 350. So we are doing better than last trip. According to this, we'll make it home without refueling. That's the good news. The bad news is it's 3 o'clock p.m. It's rush hour. Should be starting right now in DC and Baltimore. And reality is we're probably going to hit some of that traffic. We're going to hit some of that traffic, which could throw our MPGs off. But we'll see what happens. And I'll give you another update either at the Maryland border or at the 400 mile mark. It's 3:35 p.m. It's 83 degrees. We're still in Virginia on I-95 going northbound. We're in Northern Virginia. We should be by the Maryland border at about, I guess, about 30 miles. But we're at the 400 mile mark of the trip. We're averaging 46.1 miles per gallon and about 65 miles an hour. And the gas gauge is just a hair below the half tank. So we're doing real good here. Odometer reading is 60,326. As I said, we'll hit a little bit of reality once we cross the Maryland into the Baltimore/Washington D.C. rush hour. So that's update. That update. We'll see you at the Maryland border. Here it is, 4:23 p.m. 81 degrees. We're in Alexandria, Virginia. As you can see, reality of rush hour has hit us. We're just right before the Maryland border. We're at 436 miles for the trip, averaging just over 46 miles to the gallon. Looks like we may be here for a while. I'll see you at the Maryland border. Back, it's 4:40 p.m., 1 degrees, and we're finally about to cross the Maryland border out of Virginia. So we completed 3 states. We're going to be entering Maryland. 440 miles into the trip, between a third and half of a tank. We're averaging 45 miles a gallon and averaging 60 miles an hour. And we are officially now in Maryland, everyone. So your next update will be at the 500 mile mark, and we'll see you then. 80 degrees at 6:32 p.m. We've been on the road for about just over 9 hours now. We've just hit the 500 mile mark of the trip. We're averaging 45.5 miles a gallon at 55 miles an hour. I have between a quarter of a tank and a third of a tank of diesel left. So we're still looking pretty good. But looks like we finally got through the crux of the traffic between Alexandria, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Baltimore, Maryland. We just got out of the Fort McHenry Tunnel in Baltimore, Maryland. I believe we're outside just north of the Baltimore city limits now. And we'll keep you updated. We should be hitting the Delaware state line in about another 50 miles, it looks like. So we'll talk to you then. Hi everyone, it's 70 degrees at 7:15. We've been on the road for 10 hours and we are about to cross into state number 5, Delaware. And there's a sign, and we are now officially in Delaware. 547 miles on the trip so far, averaging 45.6 miles per gallon, going on average of 55.7 miles an hour. And we still have a quarter tank of diesel left. So despite the 3 hours of stop and go traffic, we're looking good. We won't be here that long. Delaware by far the smallest of the 7 states we're going to be traveling in. In fact, 10 miles.
9.8 miles on I-95 North.
7:30, it's 69 degrees and we're crossing over the Delaware Memorial Bridge. About to cross the state line into the Garden State of New Jersey. This will be state number 6 of 7 we have entered on a single tank of diesel right now. We're 565 miles on this trip, averaging 45.7 miles a gallon, averaging 56 miles an hour. And we just officially crossed the border of Jersey. Doing a great job despite the 3 hours of traffic. And now on to the dreaded New Jersey Turnpike. And we'll talk to you when we get to the 600 mile mark. Everyone, it's 8:03 p.m. It's nightfall, it's 67 degrees, and we are northbound on the New Jersey Turnpike headed back to New York. And we have just hit the 600 mile mark for this trip. GPS 7 said 720 miles. We're trying to go as far as we can on a full tank of diesel. And so far we're 600 miles, 120 miles away from home supposedly. We're averaging 45.7 miles per gallon, averaging at 56.5 miles an hour. We're just below a quarter tank of diesel. It's been a heck of a ride. My first ride down here, we made it 630 miles before we stopped, and it looks like we may just surpass that. So, I'll let you know. We'll keep you updated. We'll talk to you later. Everyone, it's 10 o'clock p.m., 59 degrees. We're in North Jersey, and after exactly 12 hours of driving, I took a 45-minute break because my bladder said I have to go. So did my bowels, and I was hungry. And we stopped at 681.3 miles, and even though we've gone that far, my car is, although it's below a quarter of a tank, the low fuel light has not come on yet. And according to my thing, I still got 80 miles to go till I'm empty. So not only looks like we're going to break the 700 mark, which I thought we could do, but we might break the 717 miles that Chevy says it can last, and maybe a little further than that. So we're going to get started again, and here we go. And I'll talk to you in a little while. A couple minutes ago, and no sooner did I get on the highway that the low fuel light has finally come on in northern New Jersey. But according to my thing, I'm still good for another 73 miles. So I'll probably make it over into New York. I don't know. I'll let you know. But we are going to break the 700 mark, which is going to be awesome. Stay tuned. PM. It's 61 degrees, and we just crossed the border into New York State, the final state of our journey. And also, we're about to crack the 700 mile mark for the journey also. So, one tank of diesel has gotten us through 6 states and back to our home state of New York. which is amazing. I didn't think with the hold on here, as we officially hit the 700 mark for the trip. I didn't think that when I had the detour back in North Carolina to make the trip longer, the accident that threw me out of the way in Virginia, and the 3 hours of stop and go trucking from Alexandria to Baltimore, Maryland, that we get this far, but we have. So again, from here on in, it's whether or not will we break 717 now, what Chevy says we can do in this vehicle. And right now, according to my computer, 61 miles to go till empty, and all I need is 17 miles. So it looks like we're going to break the 717 that Chevy says you could do. So we're down to the nitty gritty. We've broken our goal of 700, which I didn't think I'd do, but we have. And so stay tuned for the 717 mark. 744.4 miles on a tank of diesel. We were hoping for 700. Chevy says 717 they could give us. We end up getting 744.4. That is absolutely amazing. After about almost 14 hours of driving, detours and accidents and stop and go traffic, we got that much. Great job by Chevy. Now I am back in my home county. I'm still about 7 miles away from home, but I'm not chancing anymore. I am more than satisfied. I'm going to fill up my diesel and we'll get our final calculated MPG. We put 15.166 gallons in my 15.9 gallon tank, so I actually had enough gas to get all the way home. But hey, like I said, I'm not going to push it. So let's see, 744.4 divided by 15 point, let's see, 166 equals, there we go, 49.083, almost 50 miles to the gallon. It's 3 above what Chevy says on the highway sticker. That is awesome. Well, that's it, folks. That's it for this video. Thank you for taking the journey with me. Chevy did an outstanding job. God bless you all. And I will now drive the rest of the 7 miles home and sleep real good tonight. Take care, everyone.